Please welcome President Eric Kaler.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. There we go. I've told this is a very smart class, so welcome to Case Western Reserve University to the class of 2025. As some of you know, I'm new to Case Western Reserve, just like you. I arrived on campus last month when I joined the university as president on July the 1st. My lovely wife, Karen, and I moved here from the University of Minnesota, where I served as its president for 8 years. And after just a few short weeks on the job, I've learned that this university is every bit as innovative, inclusive, community-focused, and forward-thinking as I believed it to be when I took this position. I've also learned a few other important things that I'm going to share with you. For example, I will tell you that Zingerman's coffee from Cool Beans is the perfect way to start your day. I will tell you that the performance bowls from Tomlinson Hall are so generously sized, you and your friend can make a lunch of one of them. And I will tell you that Mitchell's black raspberry chocolate chip ice cream, think about that for a minute, can be made even better with a drizzle of hot fudge sauce delivered by the unsparing hand of our friendly employee. And if that wasn't enough, Mitchell's takes Case cash. So after coffee, lunch, and ice cream, you should be more serious and ready to appreciate the very special place that is Case Western Reserve, where people think beyond the possible in every way and every day. And my hope for each of you during your time here, from today until the day you graduate with an undergraduate degree, and some of you a few years later with a graduate degree, my hope is that you discover, create, and nurture your place here, and that you challenge yourself to think. Now, I'm a chemical engineer by training, and I love data. Sometimes data tells us an obvious story, and sometimes we have to do a little digging. So here's an interesting data point for your consideration. You collectively are among our largest incoming first-year class ever. There are more than 1,600 of you out there. And when we do a little digging, we learn a bit more about you. For example, you represent our most academically talented class of first-year students based on your application materials, including SAT and ACT scores. And most importantly, you also represent our most diverse incoming first-year class. That means this class possesses a greater diversity of life experience, a greater diversity of thought, and a greater diversity of approaches to solving the world's problems. And that, my friends, is why you are all here, to determine how you can positively impact the world around you. Some of you may find your inspiration in the Think Box, our innovative playground and entrepreneurial hub, which is right over there behind you. Some of you may develop your leadership skills as competitors on one of our terrific Spartan athletic teams. Some of you may share your talents as performers at our Milton and Tamir Maltz Performing Arts Center. Some of you may seek to expand your global perspective by studying abroad, living in and learning about parts of the world that you've only read about. And some of you, I very much hope, will engage with our neighbors here in Cleveland, volunteering your time and your knowledge with an understanding that change, positive change, begins with you. I'm thrilled to be part of this university, and I am confident that you will be too. Your parents and families and guardians have entrusted us with your care, and that's a responsibility we take very seriously. Yes, certainly we're dedicated to serving you in the classroom. All of the folks up here with me, whom I'll introduce in just a minute, will attest to that. But we are also committed to student wellness. That includes things like health services, counseling, attention to healthy diet and sleep, physical activity, and stress management. Each of you students has a navigator, someone who will guide you during your entire time on campus. They'll help you register for classes, identify extracurricular activities and experiential learning opportunities, and connect you with your faculty advisors. They will serve as your guides and your support when you need it. And so will the individuals that are with me on this platform. They will support, mentor, and advise you during your time here at Case Western Reserve. They are a remarkably talented, caring, and passionate team of faculty leaders and senior administrators. And now I'm pleased to introduce them to you. Now, colleagues, if each of you could stand and be recognized as I introduce you, we'll see how well this goes. First, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education and Distinguished University Professor Donald Feek ensures that our students have the excellent academic experiences they deserve. Vice Provost for International Affairs, David Fleschler. There's a lot of these, so if we clap after each one, it'll be a long time before the barbecue. So if you'll hold your applause till we're finished, that'd be great. Thank you. Next is David Fleschler, Vice Provost for International Affairs, who leads our international activities and programs, including our Office of International Student Services and the Office of Study Abroad. Please get to know him. Dean of Undergraduate Studies, Jeff Wolkowitz, is dedicated to providing our students with the kind of guidance and support they need as they work towards their academic and career goals. In addition, we are grateful to have esteemed professors who are committed to your learning, to research, and to engaging with you at our schools. And they are led by the deans at schools with undergraduate programs. First, at the Case School of Engineering, Dean Raghu Balakrishnan. At the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Joy Ward. At the Weatherhead School of Management, Dean Manoj Mahontra. In the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing, Dean Carol Musil. And the person who leads all of these individuals in advancing academics and serving students, Provost Ben Vinson III. Now you can clap, please. You'll meet some other members of the platform committee during the course of the rest of this program, but there are a few additional people I want to mention now, and we can clap for them at the end of this group, please. Rick Bischoff, the Vice President for Enrollment Management. Mitchell Drum, Interim Vice President for Research and Technology Management. Robert Solomon, Vice President of the Office of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equal Opportunity. Lou Stark, the Vice President for Student Affairs. Shirley Mosley, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, very important person. Tom Matthews, the Associate Provost for Student Success. Venus Pugliafico, Director of Financial Aid. Edwin Mays, Director, Office of First Year Experience and Family Programs. And Kelly Ball, Director of Recruitment and Strategic Initiatives. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Now and finally, I want to introduce you to the person whose name you probably know best, Bob McCullough, our Dean of Undergraduate Admissions. Bob, I think you have 1,600 fans in the room, which is terrific. You all know without Bob's and his team's unwavering commitment to leading students through the application process in both normal and highly atypical times, we would not be here today to welcome all of you, this special class of 2025. Thank you, and please welcome Bob to the podium.
Thank you, President Kaler. So yes, I'm the guy from the emails. President Kaler and members of the university community, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the class of 2025 and our new transfer students, a truly remarkable collection of scholars. Over the course of the last several months, my colleagues and I have enjoyed getting to know you, and we are both humbled by your achievements and enthusiastic about all that you will take part in as members of the Case Western Reserve family. I want to acknowledge the extraordinary circumstances that you all have gone through over the last 18 months or so. As your search for a college match coincided with a global pandemic that fundamentally and forever altered our lives. At the same time, we've encountered deep challenges in racial and social justice and inequality. We are living through and beginning to reckon with the devastating effects of climate change. We're wrestling with economic uncertainty as the world changes rapidly. And yet, through all of the changes, all of the challenges, all of the struggles, you were asked, compelled, inspired to keep moving forward. While your schools shifted to remote, virtual, hybrid, or some combination of all of the above, you kept answering the bell in pursuit of your learning and preparation for college. While extracurricular activities were curtailed, you found new ways to stay connected to your schools and your communities. When family members got sick, you stuck together and did your part to help out. And so now here you are, ready to embrace new adventures, ready to make new friends, remembering all the tough times, maybe a little bruised from the experience, but stronger and ready for all that is to come. I'd like to tell you a bit about who you are, this group of students, our newest community members, who a year ago had no relationship to one another, but now are here forged into the class of 2025 and our new cohort of transfer students. From a record-breaking applicant pool of more than 33,000 applications, more than 1,600 first-year and more than 70 transfer students are gathered here today. You represent more than 1,150 different high schools. You come from all around the United States and all around the world. 24% of you attended schools in the Middle Atlantic, 7% from New England, 13% from the Midwest, 9% from the South, 4% from the Southwest, 11% from the West, 15% from outside the United States, and 17% from here in Ohio. You are citizens of 76 different countries, and you speak 67 different languages. You have been engaged in your schools and communities. 80% of you 80% of you volunteered in the community. 68% played a varsity sport. 54% were involved in the arts. 47% worked a part-time job or cared for a family member at home, and 22% of you led your classmates as members of student government. 10% of you are here following a relative who attended Case Western Reserve, and 13% are the first in your family to attend college. Think about where you came from, all that you have done up to this point, and how you have now joined this new community. I know the path that led you here was not random or by chance. Instead, you were intentional about your choice of college. Throughout the search process, countless emails, webinars, Zoom meetings, maybe a campus tour at the very end, we told you about a university where 99% of our students participate in some kind of high-impact, experience-based education. And more than half of our students do 3 different such experiences. You were looking for a place where these kinds of opportunities were not reserved for just a few, but were for all. That it wasn't whether you would have an opportunity, but which opportunities you would choose. Not what you can do, but all that you will do as members of the Case Western Reserve community. From a distance, you saw a campus with unparalleled proximity to high-quality arts, cultural, healthcare, scientific, business, and community engagement institutions that would serve as your learning laboratory, and you saw the value of these connections. And you discovered a university that values community, a college climate that embraces diversity and inclusion, that welcomes students from a wide array of backgrounds and encourages them to learn from each other, to teach from their own experiences, and to make all of us better. In selecting you for this community, we knew that you would take full advantage of all of these opportunities to make for a rich college experience. You would pour yourself into this environment to see what you would become. And we can't wait to see all that you will do. And so now, Mr. President, at this time, I hereby formally present to you the Case Western Reserve University's new transfer students and class of 2025.
Thank you, Dean McCullough. And students, welcome to Case Western Reserve University. I am Provost and Executive Vice President Ben Vinson, and it is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today and to celebrate you, the class of 2025. Now, the start of a new year is always special. The excitement of welcoming a new class filled with fresh, new insights, new ideas, and new energy, it never gets old. But let me tell you a story about this year. This is a year with special meaning. We are emerging from a global pandemic. We are emerging from a time of social unrest and uncertainty. But we have faced these obstacles together. And we are emerging now better and stronger than ever. We are emerging as a community, as a university, and as one Case Western Reserve. You, the class of 2025, are now members of this community. You are here to take on challenges, to defy injustices, to make an impact on our world, to help define this place for years to come. Now, it won't always be easy, but I can promise you that it will be incredibly rewarding. All of us want to thank you for choosing us, and we look forward to what we can build together. I'm now pleased to present our next speaker and your undergraduate student government president, Sophie Villamara. Sophie is a fourth-year student in the Francis Payne Bolton School of Nursing. She is currently working on the heart and lung transplant floor of the Cleveland Clinic, where she hopes to continue her work once she receives her nursing license. And after graduation, she hopes to attend law school and eventually engage in healthcare policy. On campus, in addition to her role in student government, Sophie is a resident assistant and has been a tour guide and a teaching assistant for the Department of Philosophy. She's extremely excited to welcome you to campus and looks forward to bringing you the most memorable first-year experience that you deserve. Sophie.
Thank you, Provost Vinson, for the introduction. Good evening, class of 2025. First of all, congratulations. You are about to embark on one of the hardest yet most rewarding journeys of your life, and I hope you're all excited. As Provost Vinson said, my name is Sophie Villamara, and it's an absolute privilege to serve as your student body president. Now, you've heard a little bit about me, and I'd love to meet each of you. Truly, feel free to reach out to me if there's anything I can help you with, or stop me if you see me in the hallways to chat. I'm sure introducing yourself is something you're quickly getting used to. I remember when I first entered CWRU, my identity was mainly boiled down to 3 tenets: my name, my hometown, and my major, with the occasional fun fact thrown in. It's refreshing, in a sense, to relieve yourself of all personal descriptors and have the opportunity to rebuild that rapport, but it can also be slightly intimidating. Rest assured, over your undergraduate years, you'll undergo such a profound transformation that not only will you have many more ways to describe yourself, but you'll also feel more secure in your identity. When I was in your seat, fresh from a suburb of Houston, I was absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of PATs I could take at Case Western. I remember wondering how I could ever find my way at this school so far from home and everyone I knew. I was desperate to find those trademark, lifelong university friends, and it was nerve-wracking to think about how I needed to simultaneously find my footing in this new setting while taking on my most intense academic endeavor yet. It took me a while to realize, but my peers also had that same longing to make genuine connections while finding a balance between fitting in and expressing individuality. Understanding that you're not alone will make this transition to CWRU quite enjoyable. Through this phase of your life, you will find out a lot about your core values and meet others who intend to grow in the same direction as you and push you closer to your ideal self. One of the most exciting parts of where you are right now is that you can get involved with anything and everything that sparks your interest. However, discovering what you're truly passionate about will require a period of exploration. Luckily, the beginning of your first year is the perfect time to get out of your comfort zone because there are so many classes and clubs at your disposal. Sure, you'll take some opportunities that end up leading to a dead end or that don't resonate with you at all. But that, in my opinion, is worth moving forward without the regrets. That class that you might nonchalantly sign up for to fill your schedule could end up making you decide to change your intended field of study. The club that keeps pestering you at the student activities fair could be where you end up meeting your best friend. Take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way, and once you find out what you're passionate about, set goals for yourself and dedicate yourself to seeing them through. Of course, reaching your goals will take patience and hard work. Know that you will face adversity here. However, when you face those challenges, recognize that you can control how you manage the outcome. Choosing how you move forward is where you'll recognize your true potential. My biggest tip for maintaining perspective is to regularly check in on myself and cherish all the things that are going well. As one of my first professors here, Barbara Clemenson, said, every time I was stressed about missing a deadline, if that's the worst thing that happens to you today, I'd say you're having a pretty good day. Academic success does not necessarily correspond to your intelligence, and I warn you not to use it as a marker of self-worth. Find value in yourself from traits such as resilience that don't necessarily mean you're doing everything perfectly all the time, but that you're not giving up. Note that while the path to your goals may not always be clearly paved, you will certainly find inspiration in places and people that you least expect. So assume that you have something to learn from everybody that you meet. Because you do. When you hear a conflicting viewpoint, listen to why someone believes in it before directly negating it. You will meet so many people here whose different backgrounds and experiences have uniquely informed their opinions. And keep an open mind, even outside the classroom. And while you're living your individual experience, be sure to pause and acknowledge the beautiful world around you. In very little time, not one of you will be able to call yourself a visitor to Cleveland. You will be a Clevelander, and this is an identity you must take as seriously as your identity as a Case Western Reserve University student. Cleveland, besides affording Crew the space to be this wonderful institution, also has a rich history that is invaluable to learn about. So go out and explore the city. America's finest art museums and performance halls are literally down the street. Take time to appreciate and nurture Cleveland without imposing on it. An act as simple as wearing your mask in public spaces can demonstrate your respect for the city and the people in it. In summation, you are in an enviable position where a world of opportunity awaits. I'm sure you can feel the ambition in the air. Next to you are your future scientists, engineers, authors, lawyers, musicians, and so much more, but also some of your closest friends who will shape the person you become. I could not be where I am today or who I am today without the support of the friends, teachers, and mentors I've met here, and I'm so very grateful to have this opportunity to share a bit of my advice, and I appreciate you all for listening. I'm incredibly excited to watch you all impact those around you and change our world. Thank you.
Sophie, thank you so much for those remarks. That was absolutely terrific. We see how you represent our incredible students so well. Thank you. I'd like now to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Joy Bostic. A member of the Case Western Reserve faculty since 2007, Dr. Bostic is an associate professor in the Department of Religious Studies and is the founding director of the minor in African and African American Studies. She is a program faculty member of the Women and Gender Studies and Ethnic Studies programs and has served as the interim vice president for Case Western Reserve University's Office of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equal Opportunity. She holds 2 master's degrees, one in public policy management and the other in divinity, as well as a JD and a doctorate in systematic theology. Just a little bit of something for all of us to aspire to. On top of that, she is an expert on race, gender, and religion, and her latest book explores religion, ritual, and race in visual culture, music, and dance. An artist at heart, Dr. Bostic's personal interests include dance, photography, and textile arts. Clearly, she is a gifted scholar, but moreover, she is an incredible person and mentor. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Joy Bostic.
Ooh, I got a fan. Thank you so much, Provost Vincent, for that kind introduction. Good afternoon. Okay, so President Kaler did this and let you know that Midwestern, we're welcoming. I come from an African American tradition in which one of the central practices is call and response. So that means if I call, I need a response. So not only do you have permission to participate in this moment, but by responding, you are supporting me, the speaker, and you're letting me know where I am in the world. So let's try this again. You ready? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. You are joining Case Western Reserve University in one of the most unique moments in our history together. As Dean McCullough referred to, many of you completed your last year of high school in various modes of remote learning and perhaps short periods of in-person learning. And now you are starting your first year of college in person, fully immersed in the life of a college student with over 1,600 other students and your peers. The common reading for this year, Tracy K. Smith's Wade in the Water, couldn't be a more appropriate selection for this time in our collective lives. Smith's collection of poems gives voice to diverse testimonies that express the challenges, the beauty, and the joy of what it means to move through life, having to navigate complex and challenging, even troubling systems. The title of Smith's collection refers to the African American spiritual of the same name. Now, spirituals can express multiple meanings, either alone or at the same time. The phrase, wade in the water, could refer to a community ritual of baptism, or it could refer to organized activity of physical movement and travel to a place of newfound freedom, or it could refer to personal or collective change or transformation. Whatever the meaning, in all of these contexts, water signifies a crossing over from one place or state to another. It signifies connection and movement. As you said goodbye to your parents or guardians and made your way over here to Ville, you are yourselves crossing over into the waterways of undergraduate education. And you are doing so in a city and at a university that has lakes and creeks, a river, a lagoon, and fountains that remind us of the beauty and power of water. In the song Wade in the Water, there's a phrase that describes the water as being troubled. A fundamental part of your undergraduate education will be to trouble the waters of various fields, disciplines, practices, systems, and ways of thinking. Here you will be exposed to different perspectives. You will hear new questions and ideas. Trust that your story will help you to navigate these new questions and perspectives and allow you to see how your experience connects you to your peers and the subjects that you study. There's an improvised line associated with the song Wade in the Water that goes, "I stepped in the water and the water was cold. It chilled my body but warmed my soul." So even when confronting the issues of our day may not feel altogether comfortable, remember that as we participate in conversations that challenge us, it is with openness, honesty, and compassion that we grow in our understanding and expand our ability to empathize with others and create new responses to the issues that we all face. It is also important to remember that although your journey is yours to make, and you bring a unique vantage point to CWRU community, none of us takes this journey alone. No matter which meaning of the phrase wade in the water that we use, each meaning refers to the fact that there is always a community that is gathered to support you in these transitions. Remember that we are all taking this journey on the traditional lands of the people of the Great Lakes, such as the Delaware and the Shawnee, and the thousands of Native Americans that continue to live and participate in life in this region. You have your peers and the faculty, instructors, and advisors who are walking with you as you move into this new part of your educational journey. And there's a larger Cleveland community with all of its resources that it has to offer related to its history of activism, abolition, ingenuity, and community building. We are all here navigating these waters with you, sharing our stories, our experiences, and our knowledge along the way. As faculty, we have waded through the waters of undergraduate education ourselves. We have sat where you are sitting now, and we are here to assist you and to walk with you at this important time of your lives. Remain in conversation with those who accompany you on this journey to stay grounded and to process all of the new information you are taking in. And finally, while you are here, take advantage of our proximity to actual bodies of water in Cleveland and the university area. You can bike, walk, or jog a trail connecting the waterways. Let's see, where am I? From Shaker Lake, I had to orient myself there, along Dome Creek to Lake Erie. There may be occasions when you, by yourself or with a classmate, may spend time reflecting while sitting on a rock on Lake Erie, or walking barefoot on Edgewater Beach, or taking a lap around Wade Lagoon between classes, or sitting in front of the fountains in Case or Mather quads. Take time to contemplate the contours and movement of water. And when you do so, may you find clarity and insight. May you be inspired. And may the waters always remind you that, yes, you are here. Yes, you have crossed over into a new part of your journey. And yes, you belong here. And yes, you and your voice make a difference for all of us who have come to Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland community to learn together and share our stories. Thank you very much and welcome.
Wow. Professor Bostic, thank you so much for those inspiring words. We are definitely lucky to have you as a member of our community. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Edwin Mays. Edwin is the Director of First-Year Experience and Family Programs, a position that he has held since May of 2012. And in this capacity, Edwin is responsible for the leadership and vision of all new student and parent programs. He also works with enrollment management and other campus partners to support each student's successful transition from high school through their first year at the university. Edwin is also co-chair of the university's award-winning Sustained Dialogue program, and he's also a member of the Diversity Leadership Council. He is a facilitator for both student and faculty and staff diversity training programs, and he is a strong supporter of diversity and inclusion efforts. With more than 20 years of experience in higher education, Edwin is a leader in student service and community relations in the higher education space. I'm pleased to introduce Edwin Mays.
On behalf of the Office of First Year Experience and Family Programs, welcome to the CWRU family. Whether you are from a small town, a big city, from across the country or across the sea, each of you bring a unique story to our campus community. You completed the journey through high school, drove down the roadmap over the summer, and made it to the beginning of this new journey that began yesterday. So how will you write this new chapter of your story? During Discover Week, you will meet your SAGES faculty advisor, your navigator, volunteer in the Cleveland community, get to know faculty and staff, and see our many student organizations, and learn the stories of many who will join you in this community. Few things I want you to remember is to find your passion. Find what lights you up each day, what gets you excited. It's okay not to know, but I hope you know what you don't like to do, because then you're already narrowing your options. Share your interests, your thoughts, and dreams with your navigator and let them guide you. They will help you develop a plan to help you reach your goals. Take advantage of your opportunities. Take advantage of academic resources like free tutoring and SI sessions. It's important to seek out tutoring early on, as our most successful students utilize these services. Take advantage of programs like SOURCE, internships, practicums, study abroad. Take advantage of the global diversity we have on our campus by learning the stories of students from a different country or a different state. You can learn from every single interaction you have. I want you to learn to work well. You all might know how to work hard, but I challenge you to learn how to work well. Working well means taking good care of yourself each day. It means getting a good night's sleep. That's more than 2 hours. Eating well and getting exercise beyond just walking to class. And yes, you should go to class. Working well means finding ways to relax when you need to, learning to manage your time effectively, and asking for help when you need it. Continue to exercise your most valuable resource, your mind. I want you to engage in your new community. Get involved on our campus in your own way. Maybe it's joining a student organization or two, going to programs in your residence hall, listening to a speaker that comes to campus. Being engaged could also be your involvement in study groups, going to faculty office hours, or campus dialogues. Get to know your residential community director. They are master's level professionals with a variety of backgrounds and interests who will be great resources for you. Be resilient. Network with your RAs, those great orientation leaders, because they can provide guidance and answer questions. Your OLs and RAs were sitting in those chairs just a few years ago, maybe feeling nervous and anxious, and they found their successful path. You are where you belong. And although you may have some bumps in the road from time to time, I know if you keep at it and use your resources, your road will eventually be smooth. We certainly understand that your parents will be going through a transition as well, but we will continue to communicate with them through newsletters, both the FYI and the family newsletter. We want parents to know that we are partners with them in your success. So Nelson Mandela stated, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So I look forward to how you will change our world. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. And remember, students, if you have questions or concerns, please do reach out to Edwin in his office. He wants to help you, and he wants to hear from you. Now, seeing that this is your first Case Western Reserve event and that you haven't even started your classes, I'm pretty sure you have not given much consideration to the university's 110,000 plus alumni. But all of you are very much top of mind for many of them. The Case Western Reserve University Alumni Association is very active, highly engaged, committed, and supported group who are deeply dedicated to advancing our university and our mission. And I'm pleased to introduce the Alumni Association President, Aishwarya Arjuna. Aishwarya is a dear friend of the university and a dedicated alumna. She earned her undergraduate degree in biology in 2010 and was very involved in campus life. She served as an orientation leader, a tour guide, and a resident assistant. She was also a member of the Residence Hall Association and the Sigma Psi sorority, and she was a student researcher in the genetics department. Today, she's a genetic counselor, and she lives in Chicago. Please welcome her to the podium.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, President Kaler. On behalf of the Alumni Association of Case Western Reserve University, welcome. I know this probably isn't what you envisioned, but welcome to our amazing campus and to our worldwide family of leaders, innovators, and global citizens. We have big expectations for the class of 2025, and know that you're not just going to meet them, but you're actually going to exceed them. We have that belief in you. Rest assured that you now have more than 115,000 partners around the world that are committed to your lifelong success. We are a dynamic and united community of alumni who are dedicated and devoted to CWRU. We invest in its future and celebrate its accomplishments. We value creativity, integrity, inclusion, equity, and perseverance. And we have an enthusiasm for knowledge. We connect to the university and to one another for mutual advancement. Dr. Bostic mentioned the importance of community. It's been 15 years since I sat where you all sat today, but I'm so grateful for the community that I developed at CWRU. To this day, I still have a group chat with all of the people that I lived with on the 4th floor of Hitchcock, and we actually talk almost on a daily basis. And so I'm excited for you all to develop that community, and that community will continue to grow even after you leave the university. All of us alumni will acknowledge that many hands shaped our experiences as students. And for that, we give back to our future generations of alumni, and we give back for you. That alumni support connection is an essential component of being part of the Case Western Reserve University family. It comes in many formats. Some of you connected with or met an alumnus before today, either through an alumni interview, at a college fair, while visiting campus, or at a reception in your hometown. Others may have benefited in a manner that's much more personal to me and probably to many of you as well, by receiving a scholarship funded by alumni. Receiving a scholarship really provided me the opportunity to attend CWRU, explore, and really reach heights that I probably would never have been able to do without that generous support. Throughout your time on campus, you too will develop a deep level of pride for Case Western Reserve University, and I hope you'll show that pride as many of us do. Simple acts such as connecting, volunteering, and remaining active alumni ambassadors are the hallmarks of our alumni family. And you, as an undergraduate student, have the opportunity to join our online platform to meet alumni. It is the Alumni Career Network, and students are more than welcome to join and meet with alumni with mutual interest all over the world. And let me tell you, when I speak for all of the alumni, they will be so happy to hear from you. Alumni love hearing from students. So please connect with the CWRU Alumni Association to learn more. And you can just email them at alumnirelations@case.edu. So I'm thrilled to welcome you into the Case Western Reserve family. I'm sure I will see you around campus, whether it's at homecoming, Hudson Relays, or another time. You might not run into me in the hallway, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me. And I hope to meet as many of you as I can. A time-honored tradition at CWRU is the singing of the alma mater. Due to our present COVID protocols, we're not able to actually sing the alma mater, but instead we're going to listen to it sung by the 2020 Orientation Leader Choir. Again, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to this wonderful university, and we're glad you're here. Thank you.
Shine on forever, Case Western Reserve. Loyal and true are we. Your brave sons and daughters, your knowledge we use to make our mark of history. Our school days will cherish forevermore, a lifetime of friends from the start. Shine on forever, Case Western Reserve. You'll be forever in our hearts.
Thank you, Aishwarya. And I'd also like to thank the orientation leaders for working so hard to ensure that this class of 2025 has a smooth transition to campus life and feels welcomed here at Case Western Reserve. And they can even sing. Remember, students, you all have a place here. You all belong. To the faculty and staff who are here with us today and who have helped make our student orientation a success, I offer my gratitude. And to you, our students, please do take care of yourselves and of each other during your time here at Case Western. Make smart choices in the classroom, in social situations, and on social media. Be safe, be open-minded, and be curious. And go out and do some important, fun stuff. I look forward to seeing you all at Fall Convocation next Wednesday, August 25th, where we will hear from the 2021 Elaine G. Haddon Distinguished University author, Tracy K. Smith, who will discuss this year's common reading selection, Wade in the Water. In just 15 seconds, I'm going to invite you to exit this building and follow our orientation leaders, who will show you the way to Freiberger Field, where a barbecue feast awaits. Enjoy the food and the company. I wish you great success at your time here. Welcome.